Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Azam Nouri. I'm an associate professor of biology at Merrimack College, which is located north of Boston. We are a group of faculty representing PUI at American Society of Plant Biologists. And every month, we cover topics that can help us to be more effective and efficient in our work environment. The topic of today's talk is about boosting your research success at a primarily undergrad institution. So talking about PUI, we need to remember we have three areas of responsibilities: teaching, research, and services. Of course, teaching and research, they have a higher impact, and we need to allocate our time efficiently for these two areas and spend as much time as we can on services to help our college or our community. For teaching at PUI, we typically have 12 credits per semester to teach, which can be 3 or 4 courses based on the college and the curriculum. This also includes that the instructor is the primary instructor, meaning all the course materials are created by the instructor typically at PUI, and grading is done also usually by the instructor. We often do not have TAs to help with grading, which has its own beauty, meaning the instructor is responsible for all matters related for the course and direct interaction with the student to make sure they are successful. At PUI, we do have resources for teaching and research, but in comparison with R1, R2 institutions, it might be seen as limited resources and even infrastructures. And that can be a limiting factor for research. So we need to think about what we have, the time we have, and what are our goals to be more successful. As far as some of the beauties of working at PUI, there's a close relationship with the students, meaning we work directly with the students. Those students who are interested to be part of research, they receive a one-on-one guidance from us as faculty. So we work with them in the lab. We provide them the protocols, and we are showing them how to do the experiments. So in that aspect, it has its own beauty to see the growth of the students and to see how they can get engaged and be more successful in their work. But when we think about all the responsibilities we have and the goals we have to be more successful, we can think about approaches to save our time and be more efficient. And one of the reality in PUI is students are undergrads. So they do not usually stay long, meaning based on their availability, they might be part of your research for 1 semester or sometimes 2 semesters. In most institutions, students don't join labs early on, and they decide to be part of the research when they are maybe second semester junior, or they are in their last year, they are seniors. We would love for them to join our labs early on, maybe when they are sophomores. So this would be something to consider. In introductory courses, which most of us are assigned to teach some introductory courses, we can identify students they have interest in our research area, that they can benefit from the work we are doing. And we can also benefit from helping them and mentoring them and seeing that they can also leave some of the work we have in our research. So by identifying them, we can recruit them earlier and encourage them to stay longer. Again, this depends on your institution, but students might be interested to be part of the research, not just for credits or not just for being paid hourly. Again, that would be a limiting factor at PUI to be able to provide a stipend for students. Those students Those students that they would like to be part of the research, they can stay longer and benefit from your mentorship. Also, when they receive the training, they can help new students joining your lab. So some of the aspect of the research can be just carried on by peers. They can help each other to learn some of those aspects, or maybe some of the very routine materials in the lab, how to handle them. When you share with a couple of students, they can pass that to new students. As far as the protocols and methodology, it's good to have them all written clearly for undergrads. There's a difference between a postdoc, PhD candidate, and undergrad. Some undergrads may not know even the basics of science and the work we are doing. So we want to be very clear, writing all the steps in a way that if we are not right there next to them and they want to go through the steps, they can understand. And that is going to save us a lot of time. And that goes also providing them templates for data collection, how to collect data the way you want them to be analyzed. So again, your students may not stay long. So we don't want to waste our time. If they are part of the research, we want to have the template that all students are going to follow. So they collect data in the same way that other students is going to collect. And in most cases, you are the person who is going to analyze them. We can also be creative because we do have a lot of teaching load. We can use the time we are spending in our teaching labs to collect some information. So let's say you have a protocol, you want to see if it is going to work. Of course, you are going to test it before bringing it to the classroom. But to see how students are going to work with that protocol, you can bring it to the classroom and assign students to learn the techniques. And if it is successful, you might be able to collect the preliminary data you need for perhaps for your proposal, or even you may have data that can be publishable. When we think about teaching at PUI, we need to remember we have limited time. That's true everywhere. But a slight difference is we are working with undergrads and we are teaching them fundamentals that are very important. They need to learn the fundamentals in science to be able to be successful in their next chapter. So raising mindful scientists is very critical. And science changes, especially methods and protocols, they change. When we are focused on teaching, we miss opportunities to learn those methods and protocols that are coming into scientific community. In that approach, we need to train ourselves. Every 5-6 years, we see new trends in science, especially in methods. And we need to make sure we are not going to fall behind. And to do that, this is on us to invest time, invest energy, find resources. This could be online courses, it could be webinars, it could be enrolling ourselves into some programs to learn those methods. As some of you remember, we have seen methodology in molecular biology have changed easily every 6-7 years. And if we want to keep up, we need to train ourselves. We may not bring all of them into our classroom, but we want to inform our students what they are. As we mentioned, we are limited as far as the resources, so it might be a challenge as far as the cost, how to enroll ourselves in those courses. And they are workshops that actually you can receive support from the organizer. So we can just search to find them. There are online courses that are free. Again, we need to just spend some time finding them. That also goes to going to conferences. and being part of a society. Here we know American Society of Plant Biology under Plante provides a lot of information. So if you are a member, you do have access to those resources. International Phytotechnology Society has also resources. And being a member of any of these societies or societies that are related to your field helps you also to network and find people who do have perhaps protocols, methods, they can help you in your research. Also, by connecting with people, you may find someone that can be a guest speaker in your classroom, can bring some work they are doing. You can listen yourself to learn and also help your students to be more updated. Collaboration is critical. It doesn't necessarily have to be with R1 or R2. It can be collaboration within PUI community. But again, one person with all the work that is going on at PUI may not go too far. So collaboration is helping us to be more successful in that regard. Summer break and sabbaticals are good time to learn new techniques, learn some maybe in our field bioinformatics software to be updated. So setting the intention, what I want to learn, what is going to help my career, what is going to help my students. These are the things that every year we can add a little to what we already know to maintain that currency and be updated. So overall, the whole key is if we stay updated in our own area, we'll be more competitive, and it's going to help us also in our research. So talking about research, as we all know, research is expensive. Science is expensive. We need to secure funding for the work we are doing. Thankfully, at PUI, like other institutions, there are internal grants that help us to get some preliminary data. The seed grants and mini grants, they might be very small, but they still help us to get some work done. But I suggest not seeing the internal grants as sufficient for our career. These are helpful to get the work started, but then we want to look at the bigger picture and the next goal, which is having more funding. That can come from external sources, and of course, private funding sources, and also federal ones. The federal funding, I'm going to provide some example of them. There are various type of federal funding which can change. So every year, based on what is available, we check them. But there are some that are specifically helpful for PUI, so our institution. I'm going to talk about few of them. NSF has few programs that are specifically helpful for us, NIH and USDA as well. And we also have a career-based grants that based on the stage of our career, we can choose them. And of course, sabbatical grants and fellowships are helpful based on the timing of our career. If we need those kind of supports, we can apply for them as well. So talking about the NSF grants, there are few. The popular one, RUI, Research in Undergrad Institution, and Research Opportunity Awards at predominantly undergrad institutions. So RUI and ROA PUI are specifically for us. So RUI is for faculty who are working at PUI and they want to be engaged in research. They want to train students, undergrad students, and help them to grow in their career. ROA, as it is written on the last few lines, last two lines of this synopsis, it is for faculty who wants to join another institution. So they are working at PUI. They want to visit as a visiting scientist, join another institution which already has an SF award. So they can apply for this funding to receive the support while they are working in that host institution. So that could be for short term, could be a few months in summer, maybe 2 months in summer, could be a semester base, being on leave perhaps, and then joining another institution as a visiting scientist. The other opportunity is REU, or Research Experiences for Undergraduates. And this one is not necessarily for PUI, but is open to all institutions for PUI and all other institutions. And the intention is training undergraduates in STEM. So that's a good one for us because we have been doing this work. So at primary undergraduate institution, our work is training undergrads. We can use this opportunity either submitting solo or in collaboration with others, maybe with other institutions, come with an interesting program to help students to grow in their field. So NIH is interesting as far as the requirement for the topic we choose. As plant scientists, a lot of us don't think we have a right opportunity at NIH. But in fact, there are opportunities. There are programs that are tailored toward environmental health, NIEHS, or natural medicine, which some of us are working in that area, either environmental health or natural medicine. Also, there are educational funding opportunities through NIH. This particular one, Academic Research Enhancement Award area, as you can see, is for those institutions that provide bachelor's degree. So for undergraduates like us. So that's fitted for our type of work. But if you read further through this information, you see it specifically talks about health-related area. So if your work somehow relates to health and you can justify it, area it might be a good fit. The other NIH opportunity, which is not necessarily PUI, but is potentially a good fit, is this small research grant, RO3. This is for a limited time. Based on the program, you can find the timing, and the amount of the fund also is limited, and they don't renew it. It is good to pilot study. It is good to collect some preliminary data or develop a methodology. So if you're at that stage, you're thinking, I need to collect some information, I need to get some data for my next big proposal, RO3 might be a good fit. Again, bear in mind, NIH specifically want human health related work. So if you are doing human subject studies, if you have some surveys involving human studies, that might be a good fit for you. We mentioned there are career level fundings. So I did mention there are early career or there are new investigator fundings. Also, there are mid-career fundings. So for those of us got promoted to associate level, we feel this need that, okay, I need to update myself in some of the area, the trends now in science. Mid-career would be a good opportunity to collaborate with other institutions and improve the work we are doing. USDA has several types of grants that we can just read about them and find the right fit. Here, if you look at the first line after standard grants, you see the strengthening grants and followed by equipment and new investigator. So under the strengthening grants, there is a type called seed grant, and that is targeted for institutions that they haven't been successful receiving USDA fund or overall federal fund, and they are mid or small size institutions. So a lot of PUI actually fall under that category. So we may find opportunities in that area. If you are new investigator, so just few years after your graduation, your junior faculty, also there are opportunities under USDA grants that you can apply for. Again, sabbatical grant is available through USDA. You need to have plans for your project and apply before your sabbatical time actually comes up. So considering all of this, there's beauty in the work we are doing, and the teaching, research, and services. It's all our choices. We would like to be involved in all of them as much as we can. It's just a time management and knowing what is best for our career development, for our students, and our institution. So we need to have perseverance, be creative in all our areas we mentioned, enjoy the mentorship we are providing. I always say students are like seeds of plants. You mentor them and watch them bloom and flourish, and it's beautiful when you see how a young scientist is becoming someone that's contributing to the society. And all of this can help us to be successful in our career and also help to build a better scientific society. Thank you for joining us, and please join us in our next monthly sessions.